Every student in the state of Mississippi is entitled to a public education, and before a child is denied access to that education, they are entitled to be heard. That hearing is called due process. The Mississippi Center for Justice has represented 400 plus students across the state of Mississippi, and we found that school districts have different ideas of what due process means. It's for that reason that we believe a uniform due process policy must be implemented in this state.
My name is Chaston. I'm 13 in the 10th grade. I was sitting in music class 6th period while a girl shoved a black metal object in my ear. I pushed it out my ear, then she tried it again, and I pushed her away from me. I stood up, she hit me in the face. I grabbed her so she wouldn't hit me anymore and I wouldn't have to hit her. So a college student named Marcus had pulled me away from her, and another college student had pulled her away from me. So Marcus put me in the room by myself so I could cool down. Then later he came back in the room and told me that the teacher had wanted me, and he had wrote officer affairs about me, about the so-called fight. This was not a fight because to me the meaning of a fight is two people hitting each other back. I was simply defending myself, I never hit her. Then I asked Marcus if he could walk with me to the office, talk to the principal. So I asked Marcus if the principal in the principal office. I asked him if he see him, can he talk to him? He said yes. So I sat down in the office waiting on the principal. Then later the principal came and Ronisha came, the girl who stuck the metal object in my ear. He spoke to her without speaking to me. I was treated unfairly without even having the opportunity to even talk to the principal and tell him my side of the story. Also the witness side of the story who seen it all.
My name is Sheila. My son's name is Chaston. I got a phone call stating that we needed to report for a disciplinary hearing. Later, I got a phone call stating that it was canceled, and then the following week, it was rescheduled. I never received any notifications in the mail stating my rights in terms of the disciplinary hearing, if I can have witnesses, if I can secure counsel. There was no formal notification that was sent to me via the mail. I only received a phone call. After arriving to the disciplinary hearing, Chaston and I were required to stay outside of the hearing while the principal shared his side of the story. We were not given the opportunity to hear what the principal stated. We were not given the opportunity to cross-examine him, and we were also not given the opportunity to allow our witness to come in and to share his side of the story that happened on that day.
I was worried about if I was gonna fail or not as an AB student, and how I worked hard to get where I was and where I am now, 10th grade since I passed. Also, every day I kept asking my mother about when I'm going back to school, because I miss my teachers and I miss learning, especially my 4th period class and about history.
This incident really impacted my family on so many levels. Chaston would ask me daily, "Mama, when can I go back to school?" And I would look into his sad eyes and just say, "Son, I really don't know when they would allow you back in school." As a mama, looking at my son and seeing how this really affected him, it frustrated me. Because as a mama, I advocated for my son. I made phone calls on numerous occasions. I sent letters, but it seemed like it wasn't enough. I felt like the school system had let us down, that my son was treated unfairly, because my son really enjoys being in school, but he was denied that opportunity. And it hurt me to see my son go day to day and not be allowed back in school.
Even though Chaston was only suspended for 10 days, the actuality is he missed more than 30 days of critical instruction in school. And it was due solely to the fact that the school district did not follow its own policies and procedures. For him to have missed that amount of time from school based on the actions of the school district is egregious and unacceptable. Students have the right to receive adequate written notice prior to a disciplinary hearing. Every day that Chaston was kept out of school beyond the initial 10-day suspension was an egregious violation of his due process rights. Every student should have the right to call and cross-examine witnesses. In Chaston's case, his witness was not allowed to be called, and he was not allowed to cross-examine witnesses, and this was a violation of his rights.
We had a right to appeal the decision of the school district. After I requested an appeal of the decision of the disciplinary committee, I did not receive a response until I obtained legal counsel.
All students have the right to an impartial hearing. To ensure impartiality, that means witnesses for both sides are given the opportunity to testify and that the student receives the opportunity to cross-examine. One of the ways to address this issue is by having a standard of proof, that is, a threshold that must be met before a student can be denied education right. In Chaston's case, the committee decided that they had heard enough. Enough is not an appropriate standard when determining whether or not a student should be denied access to education.